What is going on, gang? We are back with another episode of On the Mark with your boy Marcus Washington, where we talk everything Falcons football. So we get to sit back and relax and enjoy this Sunday, even though we were eliminated from the playoffs last week. Um, yeah, man. So this was a win I will take. Um, I mean, listen. All these games have been pretty much the same this year. Um, Atlanta plays the team down to the wire. You know what I mean? Last week it was kind of like that. I didn't do a video last week, honestly, because I fell asleep. That's the first time I've ever fallen asleep on a Falcons game. I fell asleep in the second half, so I had to go back and rewatch it. Um, and then I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy the holidays, man. Um, so yeah, similar to every game Atlanta has played this year, eh, pretty much the same. We look at the stats. I will say this: the run game looked good. Desmond Ritter, he definitely now uh, looks comfortable. Um, his first game, he didn't look comfortable, and I mean, he's a rookie. I don't think any rookie's going to look comfortable. Second game, uh, this game he actually looked comfortable, changing things at the line, making sure the offensive line was where they needed to be on their blocks and stuff like that. Um, but if we're looking at this, we're looking at the stats, man. Uh, Arizona had more yards, 339 to 298. Our passing yards were actually 166 to their 213, rushing 132 to their 126, and we were dead even on yards per play, 4.9. They had 21 first downs, we had 20. They were 4 of 11 on third down, we were 5 of 11. We were 1 of 2 on fourth down, and they were an offer. They only went for it once, and it was not good. Um, they had 69 total plays. We had 61. I mean, it was damn near dead even, man. Time of possession, that's where we they had more plays. And time of possession, we had the ball for 32 minutes. They had it for 27. Um, now, uh, Jay Lana said, "Did you actually want them to win this game?" Yeah, I want, man. I want us to win every game we play. Before the season, I had us pegged to win 7 games this year. They're at 6. They play Tampa Bay next week, which if Tampa ends up winning, they're probably going to sit their starters. Hell, I would. It doesn't really change anything. You clinch the division. You get a home game. I'm sitting my guys. So Atlanta probably. Damn, Tom Brady had a rushing touchdown. What the hell, bruh? Man, Tom Brady done got me a 37 piece in fantasy. A 37 piece. Extra crispy. Um, and I needed that, man, because the rest of my fantasy team is just struggling right now. Um, but yeah, man, I want us to win every game. I don't believe in tanking at all. Um, and this is a weird team to evaluate. We'll evaluate it at the end of the season, which is next week. But it's funny that Atlanta would win by 1 point, and Georgia last night won by 1 point. Um, Now let's look at what Ritter did. Um, so Ritter was 19 to 26, which is efficient, 169 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. This was what Mariota was doing. So when you think about it, Mariota's been in the game for 8 seasons. This boy has played 3 games, and he's already doing what Mariota was doing stat wise. And I can argue he's more efficient. He was 19 to 26, so he only missed 7 passes. Um, Tyler Algier, man, this boy is turning into an absolute monster, bro. He is turning into a monster. I'm noticing now it seems like he's getting more touches than Cordell Patterson. And Cordell Patterson came in as the starter at the beginning of the season. He had 20 carries for 83 yards. He was averaging about 4.2. Cordell had 9 for 42. His average was 4.7. He had 2 clutch runs in the fourth quarter. Desmond Ridder had 4 carries for 9 yards. I'm not even looking at him for rushing at this point. And then Avery Williams had -2. Our receiving, Pruitt led 49 yards, 4 receptions. Drake London was next, 5 receptions for 47. We got to get somebody on the other side of Drake London, man. These other guys are not it. Demir Bird has not broke out. I mean, Tyler Algier has the same amount of yards passing than Demir Bird does. Cordell Hodge had 1 reception for 5 yards. We got to, man, offseason, we got to get somebody on that other side. And, you know, for me, Arthur Smith, he wants to run this ball so badly, man. And it's almost to the detriment of the team. But I get it. You don't have anybody over there to really challenge the other side of the field. Your running game is working. So, hey, you know, Roger says that last throw. Hold on, let me put this up. That last throw to Pruitt from Ridder was absolutely a dime. Mariota wouldn't have made that throw. Yeah. I mean, Ridder is looking a lot more comfortable from the first game he played to this game. I mean, there was really no panic. I think he only got sacked once. Let me look. Yeah, he only got sacked once. So yeah, man, I'm gonna keep this video short because again, you know, we've been kind of like all year. It's been the same thing with this team. No matter who we play, we're gonna play them close. It's gonna come down to the fourth quarter, and it is what it is. Charles, let me put you up. Charles says, I think that pass to CP should have been a TD. Man, you know, the rules are so wonky in the NFL when it comes to that. So if I barely break the plane, that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. But if I catch the ball and I have 2 feet in the end zone and the ball gets knocked out, that's an incomplete pass. I don't know. That seemed like it was bang, bang. In the long run, it didn't end up biting us because we did end up winning. So it is what it is, man. I'm almost ready to get this next week over with because I've been waiting for this offseason for the last 2 seasons where we finally get up off of Matt Ryan's contract. We finally get up off of Julio's contract. And you see what happened to them. Man, it is amazing how when people leave, players leave Atlanta, they just turn into trash. Devontae Freeman, trash. Matt Ryan is the 3rd string quarterback now. That man was supposed to be the answer in Indiana. He got benched, and then they fired the coach, brought in Jeff Saturday, and then he got benched again. Not only did he get benched, he got benched and then dropped on the depth chart. Look at Julio Jones. Julio Jones left, went to Tennessee. They cut him. And he's now the 3rd option in Tampa. That kind of amazes me, man. Like, they're studs in Atlanta. Once they leave, it's a different story. Matt Ryan might as well retire. I told people this years ago when I was in a group I used to make videos for. I told people years ago, if Matt Ryan leaves, he will be a backup. I told people this. Now, I didn't think he was going to be a backup this goddamn fast. I said he would play for about a year and then he would be a perpetual backup. No. No, he going to go somewhere and win the title. I'm like, bro, no, he's not. Julio leaves. Julio left to a good situation. Cut him. They cut him. Happy New Year, Diddy. Happy New Year to everybody on the stream, man. Let me see. Let me get some of this. John says, what happened to you last week? Man, I fell asleep in the second half, man. Man, when I woke up, it was like 7 o'clock. It was like 7 o'clock. So I watched the second half, and then it was just like, man, you know what? I might do a video sometime this week, and then I just got so preoccupied this week. So I just skipped the week, man. Y'all ain't missed nothing because I would have repeated the same thing I said the week before. Oh, let's see. Winston said, what's going on, Marcus? I came in on our ex-players being trash. Yeah. Like this offseason, man, this is really, really okay, hold on. Let me get this, Winston. He says Alua Khan is first or second in tackles. Yeah, I will give him that. And Campbell has been balling. I will give you those two. You know, I hate that Alua Khan had to go. But when you ain't got no bank, dog, you ain't got no pockets. I mean, some of these guys you gotta let go. I mean, and Keanu O'Neal is doing pretty decent too. But this offseason, this is really what it's about right here. This is the regime, the new regime. You know, Fontenot and Smith they've had to deal with the residual from the last GM, last coach. They haven't really had any money. You know, they've had to shop at Family Dollar. They didn't get to shop at Target. You know, they were getting their candles from Walmart, not Bed Bath & Beyond. You get what I mean? So we'll see what they do. The defense needs help. But, hey, man, you know, I will say this about the defense because I've been calling them ass all year. And I still think they ass. However, if we look at the last, let's do this. And this is one of the reasons why Mariota got benched. If we look at the last couple of weeks, let's just start with the Commanders. 19 points. Steelers, 19 points. Saints, 21 points. Ravens, 17 points. Cardinals, 19 points. They're holding teams to under 20. The problem is the offense can't generate any points because they're scoring below 20. So, you know, you had a lot of people talk, especially when Mariota got benched. I don't know how people became diehard Mariota fans in literally half a season when they knew he was going to be the stopgap. When the Falcons drafted Desmond Ridder, I don't know how people just all of a sudden became diehard Mariota fans. But man, why would you bench him? He gives us the best chance to play, best chance to win. Really, there was a stretch when Atlanta was in first place and we had some cupcake games. Cupcake. If Atlanta would have won 3 out of those 4 games, Atlanta would have won the division like last week. Mariota played like garbage all those games. And we lost 3 out of the 4 games. That's why Mariota got benched. And I told people, Ritter's going to give you the same numbers. Mariota should have been benched the Thursday night game. Now, 3 games later, Ritter's giving you the same production yardage wise. 169, 19 to 26, and a dub. So I don't know what the future holds for Desmond Ridder. I honestly, man, that would be a tough choice if I was Terry Fontenot. Do you go look for another quarterback? Because you did get Ridder in the 3rd round. Do you go try to get one of these studs coming out? You know, if a QB becomes available, let me say this. I do not want Derek Carr. Derek Carr can't win games with studs. So, I'm good on Derek Carr. But, you know, you got other guys. You know, Tom Brady is probably going to Oakland. You know, there's talk about, Aaron Rodgers maybe wanting out of Green Bay. So, if I'm Terry Fontenot, I don't know. Do you stick with this kid for the future? Or do you try to come up with another game plan? I would hate to be the one to make the decision there. But for me, the first thing that they need to tackle is the defense. They have to get a pass rush. They have to. You need another wide receiver on the other side of Drake London. Now you will get Kyle Pitts back next year. Algier is your clear number 1 running back. You will get Huntley back next year. So you got that triple-headed monster at running back with Patterson, Algier, and Huntley. I keep that monster intact. Period. I mean, Algier is going to be here. Huntley is probably going to be here. And, well, Patterson's going to be here, too, because he signed a 2-year deal. I'm keeping that intact. Go get you a quality wide receiver on the other side of Drake London. Because these other guys have not panned out. Y'all remember last season we were talking about Frank Darby? Y'all remember that? How Frank Darby looked so good in training camp. Y'all remember that? Frank Darby was supposed to be the next Antonio Brown. Nope. So those things they're gonna have to shore up. I'm confident, man, that they'll utilize this cap wisely. I like the moves that Terry Fontenot has made. I'm a little bit, man, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little bit shaky about Arthur Smith's play calling. But you know, we'll see what they can do when they're able to shop for the groceries and get the players that they want. And like always, I'm going to be all in the offseason. I'm going to be all in training camp. I'm going to be all in the preseason, and I'm going to be ready to ride in the regular season. This season was kind of hard to stomach, but I mean, man, come on, let's be honest. We knew walking into this thing we were not going anywhere. But I do need them to beat Tampa. I do need my 7 wins, man. I do need that. Let's see where Tampa is right now. All right, so Tampa's winning right now 30-24. Carolina's got the ball with 26 seconds left to go. If Tampa wins, I'm benching. Man, everybody's on the bench. Everybody's on the bench next week. That should be a dub for us. But then again, damn near most of the players in Arizona were on the bench today because they were hurt. Yeah, Julius, I'm a tad bit worried about him, about Arthur Smith's play calling. But then again, this offseason, they do not have any excuses because they will have money. They have draft capital. Like, this team is in a great position in the offseason. A great position. You got 2 draft picks from Calvin Ridley. You got to keep your draft picks, the ones that you were going to give up for Deshaun Watson. You got to keep those. So I'm confident, man. This was a good win. This was a good win, and I think Desmond Ridder needed this one. So now he knows what it feels like to win on the professional level, and he did a damn good job today, man. The team as a whole, offense and defense, they did a good job. I can't call nobody really ass today. I watched the game. It was like I expected. Now, was it boring? Yes. I mean, not gonna lie. The game was boring because it's predictable. Y'all might as well just fast forward to the fourth quarter. That's when we're going to see that's when the game is decided, when Atlanta's playing. John, let's see what he got to say. John says, I'm only giving this coach one more year. If you can't do nothing next year with all the money we're gonna have, he's out. Listen, next year, if he doesn't have a winning season next year, if we don't go to the playoffs next year, yeah, Arthur Smith is in the hot seat. Definitely in the hot seat, especially when you look at this year where your team wasn't that good, but your team lost a lot of one possession ball games that they should have won. So that, I mean, to me, honestly, glass half empty. I mean, you can look at that and be like, well, look at what the team was. We were a bad team, and we only lost by one possession on a lot of these games. This is with a rookie wide receiver. This is with an 8-year journeyman backup quarterback. This was with no other real serious threat on the other side as far as wide receiver. Y'all remember the guys that we brought in? At one point of the season, we were asking, is Bryan Edwards hurt? There were some games I didn't even know Bryan Edwards was playing. Then they cut him. Damian Williams comes in, immediately gets hurt, and then they cut him too. Now, I can understand that cut, because it's like Huntley comes in off the practice squad and is immediately better than you. So you got a three-headed monster with Algier, Patterson, and Huntley. Damian, you don't even fit in this equation no more. What can I squeeze you in? So yeah, we got to cut you. Bryan Edwards, we got to cut you because, I mean, you're not doing anything. So I would be taking, honestly and truthfully, I would be taking a look at these wide receivers coming out of this year's draft. Our run game is already straight. Our tight end already straight. As much as people want to talk about how Kyle Pitts is a bust, why didn't you go Justin Fields? Look at what's happening with Drake London. Marcus Mariota was the quarterback. Drake London wasn't even getting looked at. Now Drake London is getting targeted. So a lot of that had to do with quarterback play, man. But I'm optimistic, man. Great win. Great. I ain't got no ass cheek awards to give. They did their thing. Let me see. Abel says, you've always said if they get 7 wins, they're overachieving. Yeah. If they beat Tampa next week, they overachieved this year. They definitely overachieved this year. And what irritates my soul is Atlanta had an opportunity to win more than 7 games. They left a lot of these games on the table. So there is some optimism going into next year when you look at the team that they rolled out of there. Remember, Vegas only had Atlanta winning 2 games. That's it. 2 games? You picking first in the draft. That's what Vegas had us at. So to me, 7 games, hell, you won 7 games last year with a $100 million quarterback who had been here 14 years. So I'm going to go ahead and make a declaration now. Atlanta making the playoffs next year. If they tackle the wide receiver issue, they get guys to get on that to help Grady Jarrett, for crying out loud. Your secondary, you get God, his name escapes me now. The guy that was playing the opposite side of AJ. God, dog it. He ended up getting hurt. And you can tell he's badly missed already, because they didn't had Hall getting put on skates. I mean, man, the cornerback play's been kind of bad over there. But we get him back next year too. But my main attention this offseason would be the defense. We cannot be bottom of the barrel next year. Casey Hayward. That's right. Appreciate that, Scooter. Casey Hayward. But that's the thing, man. And you think about it, honestly. If Atlanta has the top 10 defense, ain't no telling where this team can go. But anyway, that's it for today, man. I'll talk briefly on this on this Georgia game, right? So I'm not gonna front. I thought Georgia was about to lose that game. Man, I went and got me something to eat. Ohio State was up like it was something ridiculous. It was like unsurvivable at that point. I'm like, man, you know what? Man, I'm gonna go ahead and give me something to eat out. So I go to the IHOP. I'm sitting there waiting on my food. I'm thinking they about to start fighting up in there. Man, I turn around. I'm like, what the hell going on here? Dog, Georgia just won. I'm like, what? Man, I opened up my phone, 42-41. I'm like, how in the hell did Ohio lose this game? Now, on Facebook, I'm petty. So I had crying Jordan emojis ready for Ohio State. I had the memes inbound. And even after they lost, because when I got home, I went live on Facebook. I said, man, you know what? I can't even put the Ohio State crying Jordan emojis up. I just got to respect that team. Their quarterback is an absolute monster. And they lost off a field goal. They were in field goal range. So I'm like, man, I can't do nothing but respect him. But I'll tell you this, Georgia better tear the socks off of TCU. They better, because listen, the first half, Georgia they weren't ready to play, dog. Ohio came and punched them in the mouth, and it just seemed like they weren't ready. They better be ready when they play TCU. TCU ain't got no business holding up the national title. They have no business. None. But I believe Georgia get that, man, and they'll be back to back. I think the last team to do that, if I'm not mistaken, is Alabama. But I'm not really that savvy on college football, though. But yeah, man, this was a good weekend for Georgia football, man. Georgia wins off probably one of the best college games played in a while. And then there was a stat that was crazy. In the playoff era in college football, when trailing by 14 points going into the fourth quarter, teams were 0-19 until last night. Georgia is the only team to win a game when trailing 14 in the fourth quarter. That's how for sure that should have been for Ohio State. But last minute Bennett be pure ass for three quarters. Last minute Bennett though. he He gonna deliver the goods. I'm like, listen, y'all, after this, y'all need to let Stetson Bennett graduate. Y'all need to let him graduate, bro. Because I'm tired of these cliffhangers, man. This happened last year in the Bama game. And then last minute Bennett, those last 2 drives, this man out there playing like prime Tom Brady. So yeah, man, hopefully we can end this on a good note next week. Hopefully Atlanta wins against Tampa Bay, and then Georgia comes back, gets that natty on that Monday. Because you can tell the culture is starting to change in Georgia sports. Y'all remember we were cursed for years. At the Braves had all those good teams getting put out in the first round by a team that struggled to get there. Then in 2016, Atlanta just has a top flight offense, fifth best in league history. Matt Ryan playing out of his mind. 28-3. Snake bitten. That traumatized a lot of people. Let me tell you, when Atlanta United won, that was the first taste of victory in a while. And I think Atlanta United did that in like their second year, if I'm not mistaken. Let me tell you how traumatized Georgia fans are. When the Braves won the World Series, people still, we were up, I think it was like 8, I think at the time it was like 8-zip. People were still like, I don't know about this one. They had to have that last out for them to be like, okay, this shit is real. We have been traumatized for so long. Even when we get a big lead, it's too early to celebrate. You look at, and then Georgia, the Bulldogs followed it up right after that, beating Bama. But in reality, if I'm going to be real, Georgia's always been, I can't say better. They should have won a lot of those games against Bama, because a lot of those games they walked into the fourth quarter with the lead. So they've always been able to give Alabama hell. They just could not finish. Now look at the Falcons. Last couple of years, all these close games, haven't been able to finish. Last year, we lost 8 of them. 8. Put this in perspective. We won 7 games last year. We lost 8 that we should have won. So, and you look at it this year, same deal. We don't know how to close the deal yet. But I'm positive that next year, this will be a completely revamped team and we will make the playoffs. I'm calling that right now. Matter of fact, I'm going to call the game next week, because the Buccaneers won. I don't expect to see Tom Brady playing. I don't expect to see Mike Evans playing. I don't expect to see Chris Godwin playing. I don't expect to see Leonard Fournette play. If they play, it's going to be limited. Because they clinched the division. They won the division. So they get a home game. They're in the playoffs and they get a home game. Why the hell would I start any of those guys? Because whether they win or lose next week, it don't even make a difference. So Atlanta should be able to walk in there and get a dub. That'll bring us to 7 games. Now, it might not mean a lot, because again, you don't make the playoffs, but again, you won the same amount of games with guys that aren't really household names. And then you look at the guys that left us. They're no longer in the top 10 at their positions. Julio Jones, his last year with us, Julio Jones was still touted as one of the best receivers in the league. You don't hear anybody talking about that no more. Matt Ryan, for what it was worth. Matt Ryan's going to give you numbers. Great locker room guy. Leader of men. All this shit that they sold Indiana. But the thing I can respect about Indiana is this, and I'm going to get up off here. Indiana ain't waste no time realizing that they got hoodwinked, bamboozled, and tricked. And they went on ahead and put that shit in the trunk. Oh, this dude, he really is cooked. Yeah, you know what? Let's go on ahead and bench him. Then Jeff Saturday comes in. Matt, you're my guy. You're my guy. I'm going to put you in. You're my guy. Weeks later, yeah, you know, we're gonna start such and such, man. You know, we had a lot of conversation about it. You know, talked to Matt. Matt took it good. And then on top of that, our backup, we're gonna promote him, and Matt's gonna be the third guy. But Matt was all world his last year here, from what I'm being told. So anyway, man, I'm about to get up out of here and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. It's a winning weekend for Georgia sports. Unless you're talking about the Hawks, who let LeBron James put up 47 points. With that being said and done, man, y'all have yourselves a great Sunday and a great week. And we will reconvene next week, man. I'm out of here. Peace.